Title of this story is Am I the Astronaut for Breaking Up with My Girlfriend for Giving In to Peer Pressure? My ex-girlfriend, 27 female, and I, 29 male, had been together for just over a year. I broke up with her last week after yet another situation where her inability to stand up for herself crossed a serious line. The first red flag happened 5 months ago. She came to my apartment after a night out with her friends and confessed tearfully that she had made out with another guy. Her excuse? Her friends were pressuring her to loosen up and live a little, and she didn't want to look uptight in front of them. I was furious, but decided to forgive her because she was honest and apologized immediately. However, I told her that this wasn't okay, and we agreed that she wouldn't go out drinking with those friends again, since they clearly did not respect her boundaries or mine. Fast forward to last week, she told me she was taking a mental health day and would be hanging out with friends. What she didn't mention was that she was heading out to a cabin in a small town with those same friends. I found out when she texted me after the fact, casually saying she'd be back later that evening. This was frustrating enough. I don't think it's unreasonable to want a heads up about a trip, especially with friends I've already expressed concerns about. When she came over the next day, I pressed her about what happened. She initially said that it was just a relaxing day with the girls, but something about her tone felt off. I kept asking, and after 3 days of her denying that anything unusual happened, she finally broke down and admitted the truth. One of her friends had been pressuring her for weeks to join in some bedroom activities with her and her husband. My ex claimed she'd been saying no repeatedly, but eventually gave in to the pressure and went to the cabin with them. She swore that nothing happened and that they didn't go all the way, but at that point, it didn't matter to me. I told her the relationship was over. I explained that while I understand feeling pressured, going to the cabin was her choice. Staying friends with people who constantly push her to violate her own boundaries and mine was her choice. I also told her she needed to seriously think about why she surrounds herself with people who bring out the worst in her. She cried and accused me of blaming her for something she didn't have control over. I told her she absolutely had control unless they dragged her to the cabin at gunpoint. Her decisions were her own. Now her brother is texting me saying that I'm being too harsh and that I should be helping her work through her issues instead of walking away. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's my responsibility to stay in a relationship where my trust and boundaries are repeatedly disregarded. So, am I the astronaut for ending things? Yeah, she doesn't need to be in a relationship for sure. He's NTA. Now, he's NTA, and like I said in the very beginning here, or like I've said a couple of times in this stream already, if you want to be with someone, be with someone. If you don't want to be with someone, don't. Don't. You don't have an obligation to stay when she repeatedly did things that she knew were not okay and then came back and denied them. Also, tell me you went to a cabin with these people and nothing happened. Bullshit. Also, you came back and lied about it. It took 3 days for you to tell the truth. How am I supposed to trust that you were telling the truth about anything here? There's also another side to this where she gets seriously manipulated by these people, and it's a serious problem, and she really does need help. That's possible, but it's not OP's job to help. She's choosing to be selfish at his expense, or she's being manipulated, and the effects of that are also at his expense and hers. But she has to understand that the expectation that somebody would stick around and see through this, that's asking a lot. That's a tall order to ask of someone if that's all legit. I call bullshit, of course. I call bullshit. It took 3 days for her to fess up to it. Yeah, that's a choice. She's lying. It's not because she didn't want to divulge information because she was embarrassed by it. No, she actively lied to you. She's actively lying to you. She has learned to use guilt as a tool to get people to feel sorry for her so she can have her cake and eat it too. It didn't work with you, so now she's lying to her brother because she's probably sleeping on his couch right now, and he's just getting all the guilt, and he's like, you're a dick because I have to deal with this now. Well, too bad. He has a choice too. Maybe just less of one than you have. He's bullshit. What do you think?